We didn't know. I want to bring in Mark Greenblatt. He's a former Inspector General of the Interior Department who was fired by Trump in January. First of all, there is a possibility, given the fact that people have accused Pam Bondi of getting a directive from the president to indict, that sort of chain of directives was broken if she was never told anything. Could actually undermine James's vindictive prosecution claim, right? But does that sound curious to you that she wouldn't have been told?
Yes, absolutely. I've worked in 4 different federal agencies, including the Department of Justice. I was never a prosecutor, but I was in the Department of Justice overseeing folks who were investigators and prosecutors there as part of the Inspector General's office. And in no situation in any of those 4 agencies would we have a matter of such significance not go to the top of the agency. And that just seems very strange to me that the Attorney General would not be informed or the Deputy Attorney General, someone of that stature, about something of this high profile.
Sometimes it might raise the eyebrows of an IG, for example. There's a new one in town. There's a new acting IG that was named just last week. There's been a lot of firings, a lot of questionable prosecutions, at least in the court of public opinion. How difficult is this job for the new IG now?
There's no question it's going to be difficult. I mean, the IG jobs are normally difficult just in a regular scenario, but now I think with, as you mentioned, the removals of me and 17 other IGs over the past 9 months, the temperature has certainly increased, and I'm concerned that IGs, there was a New York Times article about the fear in the IG community about conducting material substantive oversight, and I think we as American citizens have to just pray to God that those folks continue to do their jobs on a day-to-day basis, conducting fair, objective, independent oversight over their agencies. And I will say this about the acting IG at DOJ, the new one who just came in this past week. He is oriented in the right way. I worked with him very, very closely at the Department of Justice, OIG. He is great.
I want to talk about Homan and the investigation that apparently was dropped for the border czar. Remember, this is the $50,000 cash in a kava bag of some claim that they say happened in exchange for a promise to help businessmen get government contracts if Trump won. He denies any of this has happened, but those men were apparently FBI informants. The fact that the IG would normally be looking at something like this, what are the hurdles to even do that now?
Yeah, in any other federal agency, the IG, this would be a primed subject matter for the IG to look at. But the Department of Justice is the only one that has a unique carve-out. And what that does is for prosecutors and investigators doing their jobs as prosecutors and investigators, any kind of allegations about that go to the Office of Professional Responsibility, not the OIG.
What's the risk of that?
Yeah, the problem with that is twofold. One is the OPR, the Office of Professional Responsibility, reports to the Attorney General. So in this situation, if you're looking at misconduct or allegations of misconduct by the Attorney General or the Deputy Attorney General, someone in the political sphere, then you essentially have the Attorney General investigating herself. Whereas with the Inspector General, it's independent and they don't report, they can report directly to Congress. They aren't muzzled in any way. That's the fear with OPR. The other thing is transparency. The OIG puts out all of their reports and basically shows all of the information related to a specific matter. So the American people, Congress, media can look at that and determine what they come to their own mindset.
Yeah,
exactly.
Really important. You've got a great op-ed talking about and explaining all this. Mark Greenblatt, thank you for your insight.
Thank you, Laura.
So